trail to Stump Pond.
Okay, that's us. We're gonna have to walk.
We can't drive on this road?
This was the driveway going down there, I think. Yeah, this was the driveway. It went all the way down there. And the Welds were my mother's second cousins.
The Welds were, say it again, Hannah, go ahead.
The Welds were my mother's second cousins because Molly Weld was a Floyd Jones. And my mother's mother was a Floyd Jones.
So,
And this is the path to our house, right here. And that's the lake.
wow.
This used to be white. And they used to have the most elaborate parties right here. You know, like women with great big hats and hors d'oeuvres. I was going to videotape it. I'm happy you are.
And I'll send this all to you.
Pictures.
The thing about the boat, guys, if you were planning on renting a boat, you need a green key.
What?
This brings back memories, but she does not have an umbrella.
This was, I mean, you can't imagine how many times I walked up this path. You cannot imagine, because the vegetable garden was over there and we'd come and pick vegetables and bring them down. And we were allowed to pick anything we wanted.
I used to just steal stuff from the gardens around
But there was the most elaborate barn there and it all burnt down. I remember asking them last time. They said it burnt down in a tragic fire. It was really an old barn. Here we are, Stump Pond. I can tell you everyone's bedroom. This house had 8 bedrooms. 8 bedrooms in the summer home.
Careful. So now people understand when I said we chased Hannah as she ran through Israel, what I meant.
Can you imagine we were the only 2 families living on this lake? It's 5 miles. Unbelievable. This is my old house.
What is this, Hannah?
My old summer home.
This is her old summer home.
They were here for 18 or 19 years. I was here for the first 13 years of my life. Every summer, all summer. We'd leave the day school ended and come back the day before school began. So we were here for like 3 months out of
This was made, so what's the history of it?
This is of the houses in Smithtown.
This is the oldest house in Smithtown, and they
And only
took
the
it.
original part. But you see, it's not even open. That's my old bedroom.
Oh, I'm really good to break in. Don't worry.
There's the old mill. And there used to be a huge dock here where we had the boats. And this is where the swing was.
What was there?
Yeah, the swing. I have a picture of me swinging my brother right here. And this was the old driveway. And you see how this part of the house isn't part of the original. So that's the original house. But you see those 3 windows? My bed was right at that level, so I could watch everything happening on the lake. And we would go over to the, you see on the other side? Those are blueberry bushes that hang down.
Was it pink then too, Mommy?
No, it was white. And it also had shutters. I mean,
So-
I have a picture of this old house.
Okay, you told us the story. Tell us this. Here, stand here. Stand here and tell us the story of what happened.
About what?
Hang on, I'm gonna, all right.
So, I'm here on Stump Pond. Here's our old house. That was my old room. That was Mommy's room. That was Merritt's room. On the other side was Pam and then Chip. And then the people who were living with us were on the top floor or alongside. And here's the old mill. Look at, they've restored it. It's not nearly as dangerous as when we were there. We used to climb in the remnant of the old mill. They've restored it.
So
Down here is the spillway where we used to go. It was so slippery. I don't know how we didn't lose our lives on the spillway. And this is where we kept the boats. And here's where the dock was. You see the man with the waders on. Doesn't this look incredibly familiar? And the lake is beautiful. It still is.
Tell,
Oh my gosh.
tell people who don't know what this is, what it
This
is.
is the old driveway. And this is where I spent my summers until I was 13 years old.
And what is it now? What
Today
happened?
it's a national park. The whole place was condemned along with, what's it called? Wine Dance Hunting Club, which is adjacent. They had 800 acres right here in the middle of Smithtown with 2 lakes. And the state condemned all the land because of its historic value. And of course, made this into a beautiful park.
They claimed it.
Eminent domain. That's what brought it
Yes.
into the hands of the state. And I actually think they did the right thing because it wasn't fair for only 2 families to live in this beautiful place.
Start all over. What was it?
This was the 2nd floor. There was a screened-in porch off of Chip's room. And this is the door that led out. And this was the path going up to the wells from behind the house. We used to hang up our bathing suits in the back here. Doesn't look in perfect condition. But grist mill. That is an old grist mill. So they ground the wheat here. And this was the main drag in Smithtown, or this lake. And this is what, like, the place where you could come and get the flour ground.
They made the lake. Hannah said it
So
was a
that's why
man-made
it's called
lake.
Stump Pond, because there are places in the lake where you can actually find the old stumps and stand on them, and you look like you're standing up, you know, like almost walking. It's not quite that. I mean, I was too little to most of the time.
So you were here every summer till you were 13?
Yeah. And in the middle of my 13th
Then you
summer,
started going to Connecticut after that?
No, we lived in Connecticut. We
Oh.
lived in Connecticut. After that, we went to Maine. We went to McFarland's Cove in Maine. It was much better condition, but he let us drive on this sandy road.
Hannah said that her father would let them drive, sit on his lap and drive down the sandy road.
I don't know how we survived our childhood. We would go out looking for snapping turtles. And then we'd write our names on them with nail polish. And then let them go and try to catch them again because they used to be on the logs over here. I mean, we were fearless. We were crazy. And I don't even remember wearing life preservers.
You
learned
how to swim young.
Yeah, my father used
That
to
was-
say every single one of them. These are the swans were dangerous. We did not like the swans here.
There's
The swans would chase us on this road. And if you had a swan chasing you, you probably were going to be nipped. They were nippers. They would nip your ankle. We had a friend who got bit by one of our snapping turtles right here, and we would not let go. Oh my gosh, I thought the guy was going to die. It was unbelievable. I remember that. So this is where the dock was. It was a big dock going out, and the boats were on this side, and there was a boathouse over there where all the boats were kept in the winter. And we each had our own little rowboat. Can you imagine? We had like 4 or 5 of them sitting here. Feel this water though. Is this delicious or what? Look at it's warm.
It's not that deep.
It's warm. So you can hear the still water from the overfill, right. But this was the original mill that did the grist, you know, the grinding. It is in the middle of this hugely developed island, Long Island. I'm thankful that
Was
they
this
took it.
originally the Singer estate?
No, the Weld. The Weld, yeah. So, yeah, it's good to be back. I would never have painted the house pink.
What color was it when you were a kid?
White.
Okay.
I have a picture of this in my bedroom because my favorite eggs. So they were slimy, but you could stand on them and look like you were walking.
This is called Stump Lake because
Stump Pond.
Stump Pond,
Yeah.
because they cut all the trees down and there's stumps underneath.
Always good chance to be here. Amazing. Amazing.
Okay.
Most expensive way to finish off the walls, and they had stripped the paint, the old paint, and the wallpapers off, and you could see all the silver paint. And he said, no one had the money for that kind of thing, and certainly not a miller.
Okay.
So he was hoping that I knew what was the answer. So you see, there were chimneys So almost every room, actually, every room in the original house had a fireplace. Every single room. Yeah. A new roof on it, new flashing, they fixed the old. And the only dishes we had in this house were compere, if you know what compere from France is. Every single dish was a hand-painted dish. And it was like, when I see compere today, you know, you see it in antique shops, I'm like, I ate off of this every day. Compere. Yeah.
Stay there.
Families that lived here and who built what and all that. You know, it's like visiting the Historical Society. So this is the original foundation of Smithtown, and that's why Smithtown, you know, condemned it and took it because they had no original anymore.
Hmm. What was the, did you ever hear of what the compensation was when they did that?
No. They paid for it in some way. I mean, they had to get compensation.
I would be interested.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, there were 500 acres was the Weld land, and on the other side of the railroad was the Wine Dance Hunting Club, and they had another 300. So between the two of them, they had this huge park, 800 acres in the middle of this highly developed land. So it was a blessing for them. Come on over here.
Look at how he...
If you remember, this was where the vegetable garden was. It was just abundant. And over there once was the large barn with the horses and everything. And this was our road. It was a sandy road going all the way into Smithtown. And we only passed 2 houses on it. One was a farmhouse and one was something down below. And at the end of it, there was some kind of little church. And I remember they used to advertise Vacation Bible School. And I begged my mother that she would let me go 1 year, and I got to go to Vacation Bible School in Smithtown.
That explains that.
Oh. That's why. That's the caretaker's house, which was kind of a modern house compared to the colonial houses we lived in. Behind here is the Weld's house, and they're the ones who were the main property owners.
Okay, we're gonna go that
They're
way
the
in a
ones who
second.
lost the most. This was
Here
a
you go.
big vegetable garden here and a tennis court. And they had their horse stables here. My sister had a horse and it was kept here in the summer.
Okay, we didn't even have to hire a tour guide.
Yeah.